Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. First, I would like to thank the great I Am for his kindness and for his mercy. I would also like to thank our ancestors for continuing to stand guard over us, even here in the diaspora. I would like to thank also the Aboriginal people, the custodians of this great land, for allowing us not only to share their physical space with them, but also to share their spiritual space with them. To you, we say, merci beaucoup for your ancestral spirit that continue to flow among us, like the great Saskatoon River. To you, we say, you are brethren, and we know you and we love you. I would also like to thank the young men and women who work in putting this project together. I know the names of three, but I know they are more than that. And I will thank my dear daughter, Frederick. Also, Demi. And of course, Femi. I am encouraged by the tremendous courage you have shown. And I applaud you and wish you well. And I hope many, many, many good things come your way.
Angela.
Welcome to the beautiful campus of University of Alberta, the home of Henry Marshall Tory, a founding member who had a vision that this university should be a bridge between the community and academia. He said the community should come to this university seeking answers to problems and to issues, uplifting the whole people, which will bound our community in a united desire to improve livability. Well, Mr. Tory, I am proud to announce here today that we have exceeded your vision. Not only are people coming here seeking answers, but communities around the world are coming to University of Alberta seeking answers to world problems. And so, Mr. Tory, wherever you are, you're looking down upon us, because we are the new beginning and the new reality following your vision and living your vision. Since we are in Black History Month mode, I have decided to talk about a woman who set a benchmark for people who look like me and who look like some of you, people of African descent. And I've chosen this woman not only because she's black, but also because of her spirit that she brought to the University of Alberta. In 1953, as the lady who spoke before me, Dr. Kelly, mentioned, Violet King is her name, and you may see her pictures to your right side there. She was born in 1929, and her parents came from Oklahoma, a bunch of Africans who migrated here when Canada was looking for good farmers to produce foodstuff for this country. They settled in a place now called Breton, and later on moved from Breton, which is about northwest of here, to Calgary. Violet, young, beautiful black woman, moved down here to become the first student at the University of Alberta Law School. Now she broke many barriers, not only the color bar, but also the gender bar. And this is why this woman is quite special. And selecting her as an example of black excellence is to remind you that there is a standard by which we should function on this university, on this campus. We cannot come here to the party. We must let this university know that we are fully engaged citizens and students. We are fully engaged economically, socially, politically, and otherwise. And therefore, we should live here leaving a footmark. And how do we do that? By cooperating, collaborating, being there for each other. And let me tell you something. You are not alone and you don't look too good by yourself. You will look 10 times better when you pull others with you. So yes, we're gonna get to a place, a higher ground. But I want to remind you something. While you are climbing, make sure you take somebody's hand with you. Because it could be lonely at the top where you are heading to. So I'm here to remind you about a moral responsibility that we have as African people. That while the rest of the world may have headache and flu, we got pneumonia. And so we gotta work harder. But we also gotta work together. And the question your parents and our ancestors will be asking you, are you your brother's keeper? And I want to hear your answer. If you are here on this campus, chopping down others, stepping on others' toes, why you should be working together? Because you came from one ancestry. So you will be a living testimony of what brotherhood is all about. Because every time you use the word brother, people remember the people of African descent. Because that word brother is about us. So while you are here, whether you are doing research, whether you are first year student, second degree, whatever it is that you are doing, we, your community, have an investment in you. We are looking up to you to make things better. Father King, I will further ask some of your leaders to continue to look at the impact this woman had on this campus. Now we'll read some of her achievements to you from my notes. In 1952, Father King was one of only 4 students to receive an Executive A gold ring at the Color Night, the annual celebration of student contribution to the University of Alberta. The stature of this award is demonstrated by the identity of the other 4 recipients. And they were Peter Lahid, the man who went on to become the Premier of Alberta. Ivan Head, a future member of the Faculty of Law at the University of Alberta and also University of British Columbia, and a special advisor to then Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, and Gav Freight, a leading member of the Alberta Bar and a prominent Edmonton legal practitioner. Now, these were the people that this black woman in 1953 were competing with. Now, you can just think back 100 years ago. A black woman, and as black as she was, competing with these guys I just mentioned, coming from quite an affluent families. And then you turn the question and ask yourself, if she could do this in 1953, what am I doing? You didn't come for the photo finish here in the University of Alberta, no. But I'm asking you today to take a new route. so that you can leave a footprint. So that 50 years from today, your children will come here and say, you know, my mom was part of this organization. My mom helped bring this change. Because you had in my, what do you call it? My bio. Your legacy will be based upon not the things you have destroyed, but the things you have to build. So if you are part of anything that is going to cause destruction to a fellow brother, man, I tell you, walk away. Walk away. Because while you are planning somebody's destruction, yours is just waiting in the wings. So it's not about you. It's about the human community. It's not about you. It's about all of us. How do we make our communities better? How do we transfer the knowledge we've gained here to make our respective countries better? I come here calling you African, that your continent is on a sick bed and looking up and saying, have you forgotten me? I want you to take control and say, Mama, we have never forgotten you. We're going to rise and we're going to do our best to return you, Africa, to your former glory. Yeah. Because before you, there was none. And of course, after you, there will be no more. So when the world is looking for humanity, the world looks to you, African. Because before you was said, there was none. We as our fellow Canadians in this century, that you begin to look at the African differently. When you look at things differently, the things you look at will look different. The African have not changed. It's the same African 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. It's the same African today. But we must begin to look at the African from a different mindset. I ask you today, if you are an African and you are here, you can listen to me. Please, make that commitment that you have a moral responsibility to make our communities better. It is not enough to know, but one must act to humanize his community. We are a people who have always talked about the common good. So it's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about if it feels good, do it. No. What you are doing, how well is it going to serve humanity? That's who we are as Africans. We've always have a collective mindset. How do I affect change? One person does not make sense. Only when the community supports that mindset. So on this glorious occasion, I've come here as an elder to ask you to make a commitment to each other that we as a people going to leave a mark on this campus and rise up to the level of Violet King. That I will come here, your children will come here, my grandchildren, and begin to read names from the libraries, from the walls. This should be our commitment. That the African Student Union is going to be a union to recognize, to reckon with. I heard someone say this is the first university that set up an association about black students. I tried to find out the information if that's true or not. But let me tell you, perhaps it's true. But if it's true, then you must live up to higher standard. And so I'm asking you all, African students, that much is expected from you, because to whom much is given, much is expected. And you have much, much more than you ever thought of. It's all within you. But once you are challenging yourself to rise up to that level, I can tell you, there is nothing you cannot do. If you can put a man in the White House, you can put a man in the White House, and this is all happening in real time, then you have a chance to be all you can be. To let this mother lying on her sick bed once again look up and say, you know, my children, I believe in you and you came through for me. So don't look at me, just look at the continent Africa. I also want to mention something about malaria, because my dear daughter Demi has an organization called the Anti-Malaria Initiative. Malaria is keeping or killing young people in Africa more than any other, more than Ebola and AIDS. And we can all help by having fundraising initiative here on campus, giving pamphlets out so that we will know that we care. Even if we raise $1,000, it's not about how much we raise, it's about letting other people know that we still care. It's about care. It's not about how much you raise, no. So I want you to support this initiative as an African, because it's about you. I remember in, I believe, 18th century, there was the Spanish flu. And the king of Spain, Alfonso, if I remember the name correctly, got sick with the Spanish flu. Now, Spanish flu in the 18th century killed about 100 million people around the world. So don't think that God have cursed us by giving us malaria or any other disease. The human race have always suffered from one disease or the next one. So it's not a curse, Africans. But let us rise up and show that we care. I want to come back to this campus, coming to an event, raising malaria awareness. Because if it's not you, it's your brother, your cousin, your sister, your somebody. And that's what we are talking about. I will leave this stage giving you an affirmation I received from our ancestors. And if I ask me to bring this message to you in closing, and listen, young men and women of color, we, your elders, add our voices to the voices of your ancestors, who speak to you over ancient seas and across impossible mountaintops, and saying, you are all we got. You are the best we have. You are what we have become. We pledge to you our whole heart from this day forward, and asking you to allow yourself always to be committed to the common good of all. Not all of the same elite group, but all. It is not enough to know. One must always act to humanize his community. I thank you.